Alright, I will be reporting on sexual masochism disorder. My name is Matt Aida. That's M-A-T-T, last name A-I-T-A. My client's name is Carla Jessup. That's C-A-R-L-A, last name J-E-S-S-U-P. And Carla is 28 years old. For differential diagnosis, we have two. We have sexual masochism disorder, which we ruled in, and sexual sadism disorder, which we ruled out. We ended up ruling out sexual sadism disorder because she likes the sexual urges performed on her, whereas in sexual sadism it would be the other way around. She would be the one performing. So the primary diagnostic features, we have two of them. We have sexual urges, fantasies, or behaviors involving being humiliated, beaten, bound, or made to suffer. One more time. That's sexual urges, fantasies, or behaviors involving being humiliated, beaten, bound, or made to suffer. The second primary diagnostic feature, we have sexual urges have been present for at least 6 months. That's sexual urges have been present for at least 6 months. Alright, on to Carla's story. Like I stated earlier, she is 28 years old. She's a registered nurse, and she is seeking psychiatric consultation for her depression related to her marital strain. She states that she's been married for 3 years, and there's been some problems in the fact that they've been getting into fights because she makes more money than her husband, and her husband doesn't seem to like that very much, to the point where they're frequently fighting, and their fights are becoming violent, or had gradually became violent. It just started out as her husband screaming, and finally escalated to him slapping her in the face, which she surprisingly found that when he slapped her in the face, she felt sexually excited, and then they ended up making love. And that got to the point where Carla started baiting him into arguments, and every time he would beat her, they would end up having sexual intercourse in the end. It got to the point where her husband started to notice this and started being disturbed and pulled away from her. Every time that she tried to bait him into an argument, he would just leave the house. As the husband grew more distant, Carla's sexual frustration grew to the point that she started frequenting bars where she would pick up men and go to various motels for sexual intercourse. She would get them to slap her around, and Carla discovered a bar where people who shared her sexual fondness for punishment frequented, and took her sexual practice to a whole new level. She was whipped by a sexual partner and noted that the quality of her orgasm surpassed anything she had ever experienced before. So even though she shared in great detail her sexual preference and how it impacted marriage, she claimed that is not the reason she is seeking help. So she's actually seeking help for her marriage and how it's kind of depressing her, and that she specifically says that she's seeking help to find a way to help her husband's judgmental attitude and cold, distant demeanor, so that he will find a way to deal with her sexual encounters, and join in. That she wants him to get his acts together. So she's not actually there for the sexual sadism, but that's being diagnosed as she comes in. So on to the multi-axial diagnosis. On axis 1, we have sexual sadism. Axis 2, we have none. Axis 3, we have none. Axis 4, we have her marital conflict. And axis 5, we gave her a GAF of 80. So we have the theoretical perspectives. There are two of them. We have the biological perspective. This client's symptoms may be due to a deficit of serotonin, which has been found to be associated with compulsive sexual behaviors. When the client engages in compulsive sexual behaviors, dopamine is secreted, which brings about a pleasurable response, which increases the likelihood that the person will continue to engage in these behaviors. Finally, we have the behavioral perspective. This client's symptoms are the result of a faulty learning experience. When she unexpectedly became sexually aroused when her husband slapped her, she was classically conditioned. She made a stimulus response associated between being slapped and sexual arousal. She was also operantly conditioned. Each time she engaged in this behavior, she experienced extreme pleasure, which also means that she was positively reinforced, therefore sustaining her behavior. All right, that is it.